probably gonna be better off without me. We can blame it on the timing, but you know, no, I don't need you, I just got caught up, baby. We can blame it on the timing, but you know that you probably gonna be better off without me. We can blame it on the timing, but you know.
I remember how it felt when I got that fresh cut, new outfit. A-Town fitted, got it bent to the same side. I'm leaning in the coupe, leaning in the coupe with. Clicked up with the squad, hey, you seen us? Listen to the music, pay attention to the changes. I took some time off, but I came back. I apologize for the sudden inconvenience. Excuse me, cause I'm feeling myself right now. And I can't calm down, cause I'm back now and taking you back down. Memory lane, baby, before we was famous. Before the hiatus, before we had haters. When we was doing shows and nobody would pay us. When we was at the station and they still wouldn't play us. But we stayed on the ground so they can't say that they made us. Okay then, but it's cool that it stay like that. And you may think it's new, but it came like that. Everybody get a chance, let me state my facts. They said I fell off, but I came right back. Yeah, I came right back. Let's retrace my tracks. Before you heard her chasing, there was A-Town stat. My baby said she like it when I sing like that. So I'ma give it to him like I did way back. And it feels so good. Hey, hey, sing it. You know it feels so good. And it feels so good. Yeah. You know it feels so good. And it feels so good.
Are you guys sick and suffering with pain? And are there things you used to be able to do when you were younger and maybe just pain's holding you back? You're ready for a change. All right, we're in the right place at the right time. If you don't know me, I am Shayna Melissa Stockman. I've been a registered nurse over 30 years. I'm a nationally board certified nurse practitioner. Um, an adult and a pediatric nurse practitioner, more of an intuitive holistic healer, a #1 international bestselling author, and the world wellness expert. Today, we're here to talk about 3 lifestyle tweaks that you can do to alleviate your chronic pain. And we have a very, very, very special guest here today. But first, I just wanted to share with you why I am so passionate about this. Not only have I been the registered nurse for over 30 years and in the medical community longer, and I've had a lot of patients suffer with pain. And I know that modern medicine usually doesn't totally alleviate that and doesn't make it go away permanently. And I have seen a lot of patients suffer and become dependent on meds and have side effects and interactions and still not in relief after going to the specialist and then myself suffered in chronic pain. So my story is I had severe, excruciating chronic pain. And I had it from autoimmune problems, broken bones, arthritis, nerve problems like neuropathy, radiculopathy, pinched nerves, and something called trigeminal neuralgia. So it's very near and dear to my heart, and I want to empower millions more. Basically, I felt like the traditional docs were just giving me more pills. Try this, try that, like I was a guinea pig. And maybe some of you can relate. You're getting side effects, and the doctor's giving you another pill for the side effects of the other pill. They weren't helping me. I was getting side effects and weight gain from the steroids, from the prednisone, high sugars, high blood pressure. Wasn't feeling good. Now that I'm doing what I do now, that I want to share with you, I have no pain. I'm able to do everything that I wasn't able to do in the past. I'm happier, I'm energetic, I'm back to my ideal weight, and I want to share with the world. I want to empower millions more to show you that if your specialist is not getting you out of pain, there's other things that you can do. I want you to know that there's hope out there. And if your healthcare provider is not getting you healthy, to please seek another healthcare provider or a healthier alternative. So we have a very, very, very special guest here today. I'm super excited. We are so blessed. This doctor I've known for a lot of years. We've met up at conferences all over, not only the country, in and out of the country. He is a board certified family medicine physician, a doctor of osteopath who specializes not only in anti-aging, but also regenerative medicine. And I am very, very blessed to introduce him, and longevity medicine as well. That is huge. Dr. Jean DeLucia, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us today. Your time.
I like it.
Ah.
The
Woo.
audience. Well, thank
Ah,
you for having me. Thank you for inviting
thank
me.
you. I,
And I'm excited to help people be healthier. So it's exciting to be here. I've been in medicine for, I hate to say how long, 46 years. The first half of that, I practiced pretty traditional Western medicine. You know, we waited till you had the disease, and then we treat the endpoint, because that's how we get paid in Western medicine. And as I got older, my patients got older, I found myself pushing more and more drugs on people and treating more and more symptoms and numbers. And I just got tired of all of that. So I had to go back to school and learn how to treat the cause of the disease, not the endpoint. And we've become very successful at helping people in everything, all aspects of their health, both longevity and disease reversal. Also, it's a lot more fun, a lot more rewarding now when people come back
yes.
and tell me that, gee, I've got my life back. I didn't hear that in Western medicine. So
Yes, I could totally relate. I had two excellent success stories today that I was in touch with. One was a nurse who referred me her daughter, not to a specialist of traditional medicine, but me, because she knows I can help with her. And since she's doing what we told her to do, she is a million times better, tapering off the meds, feeling a lot better. She's having less flare ups of her autoimmune problems, less severe, and she's feeling better and doesn't feel sick anymore. And then I had another one today, another success story that maybe I'll get into in a few. Another one I had today was doing what I've been telling her for a few months now. She used to constantly have to go to the chiro and get adjustments for her nerve pain from her pinched nerves, the sciatic and herniated disc. And now she hasn't had to do that at all. So imagine how much money she's saving from all those copays 2, 3 times a week,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Woo! Yes,
It's,
and that's a valid point. A lot of people don't realize, they think it costs money to stay healthy, but they don't realize they spend so much more money staying sick when they have to go to the doctor every month, and the prescriptions, and losing time from work, right?
and also how they feel, which isn't good.
Yes.
The more
Yes.
drugs, the worse they feel. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
And yes, and I want to show others that were left helpless and hopeless. A lot of times when the doctor doesn't know what to do, the general doctor, they send you to the specialist. But now in my instance, I was a lot like a lot of the patients. I saw a lot of my patients, they were getting dependent upon medications because, I worked in clinics and urgent cares. The pain medicine seemed to get them dependent upon them coming back every month. They needed higher and higher doses. They were developing side effects, in which case the healthcare provider will give you more medicine. So maybe you guys can relate to this. Here, try this. Here, try that. I don't know. Why don't we increase the dose? Why don't we add another pill on board? Oh, you're getting a side effect. Don't stop it. We'll just add another pill on board, right? We don't know what to do. Let's send you for that test again, or send you to another specialist. Well, now I'm so proud that what Doc and I are doing is we're educating a lot of the healthcare providers. Just so you guys know out there, a lot of the healthcare providers, we are their healthcare providers. So, like, I have a lot of healthcare providers that come to me for wellness advice, doctors, specialists, nurses, and I'm sure you do as well. So I think that's important to know. Look at who your healthcare provider is going to. A lot of them are coming to us. And I want to share, Doc, what do you think when people think, like, I don't know if this is going to help me, man? It's chronic. I've had it for years. Or maybe my pain is caused by something different. Maybe I had pain from the diabetes or from my lupus or something else. How, like, people sometimes look like, wait, can this help me? Can this help me? Can this help me? So to address all of that, can this help them if they have diabetes or autoimmune problems or whatever the cause of their pain? Do you think what we're about to tell them can help them?
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen it for years, and we've helped a lot of people, and it's rewarding. I must say, very rewarding to get people off their meds and back living their lives again, which is
Awesome.
tremendous to me.
Yes. And I think it starts with mindset. People have to realize, don't think of your specialist as the last stop. If you're not feeling better and you're not getting better, there's other healthcare providers out there like us and other alternatives that we can do. We're going to go into that now. Maybe we'll break it up with a couple of slides. Can we, like, maybe pull up a slide? See what I have in store?
Oops, 1 second.
All right. So a lot of our problems are, people might think, and I hear this a lot. I hear, oh, well, I have this rare problem. I had to go to a specialist in another state and nobody knows about it. A lot of these rare problems have commonalities amongst them. And I want to share that with you. I believe right now you might see this slide with the sun and the pollution. So a lot of our underlying causes might not necessarily be the diabetes, the lupus. A lot of them are related to free radicals and oxidative stress and inflammation. And if you look at this slide right here, it's all around you. No matter how healthy you try to eat and stay away from cigarette smoke, you're out in the sun, you fly in a plane, there's, planes, trains, automobiles, you microwave your food, you use your cell phone. All of these, you go for x-rays, you go for CAT scans, that you're around secondhand smoke, you even work out to stay healthy. That produces more free radicals, and that accumulates in our body in our lifetime. And these free radicals create something called oxidative stress, and that's been known to cause inflammation. Can we show me the next slide? So the root cause of a lot of our problems might not necessarily just be the diabetes or autoimmune. A lot of times it's the free radicals, it's the oxidative stress. And this is what it does to your body. That oxidative stress is like the browning of an apple. The oxygen hits it and basically it ages it. And there's ways that we can reduce this oxidative stress. So the browning of the apple is what free radicals does to our cells internally. Doc, can you speak on this for a quick moment?
Sure. Oxidative stress is essentially aging at the cellular level. It's the rusting of our cells, of our body. But oxidative stress is not just linked to aging. By the way, that starts when we quit growing. So in our 20s, mid to late 20s, when we stop growing, we start aging. We don't stand still. So you want to be proactive and preventative. You want to start to change your ways early on in life, not wait till you get the diseases. But I can say that oxidative stress is linked directly to inflammation and disease. Pretty much every disease process has the same link of that oxidation and inflammation. So we have a government website. We have pubmed.gov, and that has about 45 million published medical studies on all aspects of disease. If you put in oxidative stress in pretty much any disease process, you'll see thousands to tens of thousands of studies linking that disease
Yes.
to oxidative stress. So it makes sense for me to lower that.
Mm.
Yeah, and
And
that's
I,
really
I
where
think we
we
have,
started.
yeah, I think we have a next slide on it. And I know Dr. Sanjay Gupta wrote in his book, Chasing Life, that this oxidative stress is linked to over 100 disorders. And CDC estimates at more than that. And I know personally, oxidative stress, depending on what body part it accumulates the most, it can represent with that problem. So if it oxidative stress accumulates more in your nervous system, you could get nerve pain, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. If it accumulates more in your heart, you can get cardiovascular disease. So keep in mind, guys, that this oxidative stress can accumulate in different body parts in everyone and present itself as all different disorders. But it's important to know from my belief is that this oxidative stress is one of the true root causes. It's not necessarily the diabetes or the lupus. What's causing those? The free radicals, the oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is known to cause inflammation. And in any body part, inflammation is not good, right? You got an inflamed elbow, it hurts, it causes pain. Um, Thank you, Doc. And yeah, I think that's important to know. People are attacking, thinking it's the diabetes or the lupus, but I believe it's really the oxidative stress causing the inflammation. That's the root cause of a lot of this. And
Yes,
if I look,
absolutely.
yeah, if I look at a lot of rare disorders, I notice the commonalities amongst them. Instead of this rare disorder that's 1 in a million and trying to figure out, we're like, oxidative stress is linked to that neurological disorder. Why don't we attack the oxidative stress? All right, awesome. And I think we have maybe next slide. Oh, there's Dr. Jean. Oh, all right. And Doc, I think it's important to know. I think when people are in pain, they have to realize mindset first. They have to first know that there's something else out
Sure.
there for them. Their specialist is just not the final resort. And
Yep.
I know there's different things we can do too. We can keep our weight down to keep our bones having more
Yep.
pressure on them. And I know, Doc, can you speak for a couple moments about this oxidative stress and how we choose to about how the genes are involved with it and how we can reduce this oxidative stress, in a more
Sure.
natural way. Because I know
Sure.
my patient that called me today, she was on a known anti inflammatory for her autoimmune lupus, and she noticed it had raised her blood pressure. So I didn't give her that. So now that she started doing what we're doing and reducing her inflammation in other ways, she's feeling better and her blood pressure is more normal. So if you could talk to us a
Sure.
little bit about how the genes are involved with oxidative stress.
Sure. And there are a number of ways to reduce inflammation in your body. Any disease you're diagnosed with an itis at the end, itis, is inflammation. So, if your doctor says you've got arthritis or whatever it might be, that's an inflammatory process. So, and that starts with lifestyle, the food we eat, what we do to ourselves, smoking, drinking, pollutants, everything. So that starts to damage our DNA, and that starts sending signals to our body, incorrect signals, and we start to have through what we call epigenetics, we start to accelerate that damage and aging and disease process. So it's at our gene level that we can start to correct that also. So if we can start to turn our genes back on to our healthiest levels when we were kids and teenagers, we were better able to protect ourselves from damage and even reverse that. And that's really where we want to go with epigenetics. And we can do that very much easier than we could 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. So, and you're right, the disease, the drugs, whether it's Motrin, Advil, steroids, whatever, are band-aids. They calm down the symptom.
Yes.
They also do a lot of damage and side effects, and sometimes worse than the disease. So,
Yes, that's important to know. A lot of people out there, when you're suffering for pain, just so you know, most anti inflammatories with my clients, I was telling them no more than 5 days in a row. And I would see
right,
other healthcare providers not tell the patients that, and they'd come in with a hemorrhage, a gastric bleed, because they're like, oh, my doc gave me 90 of these. And it's important to know that the anti inflammatories that are prescriptions often can cause gastritis, reflux, hypertension, kidney liver problems and things like that. And it's true that those are modern medicine just treats symptoms after the disorder is so bad that you have the symptoms. And then I think I call the prescriptions medicine is like a band-aid on a garden hose. It's kind of good for now, but it's not getting at the cause. Maybe if we totally repaired that leak. So I think we're really trying to attack the root cause, where the doctor might have to constantly give you that anti-inflammatory because it's only controlling a little bit of the inflammation at the moment you take it and not necessarily long term.
sure. And two things happen. That disease is progressing because we're just
Yes.
treating the symptom, and we're causing more damage by giving you the drugs because there's no drug without a side effect. And some of those side effects, unfortunately, are worse than the original disease. So
Yes.
it's a self self-propagating, we do want you sick. We don't want you healthy. There's no money in that. And it's a self-propagating, you know, industry.
Doc, that's good. I'm going to tell a little bit of the real deal here because I had a couple of pain doctors I was working with, and one was like, "Oh my God, he saw my results and our mutual clients, and he's like, whatever you're doing, I got to know what it is. I'm sending all my clients to you," and that was great. The other doctor sees in his head, wait a second, our mutual patients aren't needing to go to him as often, so he looked at it as a loss. But in my eyes, when you're in pain management, if you keep one person hooked on pain, they're going to send you two of their friends that are addicted to the pain pills. But if you keep them healthy, they're going to send you 100 people. So I think it's important for
There
the
you go.
healthcare providers to realize even though we're keeping them well, it could financially be more business for them as well.
Absolutely right. And you're right.
Nice.
I wish more of them would see that.
Yes.
So,
Oh my God. Yes. And can you talk for a couple moments about mitochondria and when our
sure,
mitochondria malfunction and when they decline? Because I know for me, when I started activating my mitochondria, that also helped me as well. And
sure,
when I started activating my sirtuins for my that helped for
sure.
my pain.
Sure. And those are all different pathways. Those are all protein messengers to several thousands of our genes, sending them messages to re-regulate them back to our youthful level. So mitochondria are energy producing organelles. They're inside every cell in our body except our red cells. And they produce all our energy. But like that free radical damage to the cell and the DNA, they damage the mitochondria also. So we have ways now, natural ways, where you can start to induce production of new mitochondria, as well as reverse that damage through lowering our free radical damage and lowering that oxidative stress. We have many ways to do that. And NAD is another pathway. We're turning on a group of protein messengers called sirtuins. And those sirtuins are linked to many of our genes, including our longevity genes, our genes that regulate our blood glucose, regulate our cholesterol, genes that regulate our autophagy, our ability to clean our bodies out of misfolded proteins and damaged cells. And when we do that, we can essentially reverse the damage. When we put those all together, we even get a better effect and a more
Yes.
regenerative effect. So it's an important part of our regenerative medicine.
That's awesome. And can you enlighten us for because people know that an antioxidant like a vitamin C or an orange is good for them. Can you explain
Sure,
to them the difference between when we activate our genes and we rev up production of our own antioxidants, how much more
sure.
potent that is than them taking a vitamin C or eating an orange?
Sure. Yeah, that direct antioxidant, whether that be a vitamin C or whatever you're taking, is a 1-to-1 ratio. So when we say we take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, it breaks down to molecules. Each molecule binds up one free radical, and our body eliminates as waste within a few hours. Okay, so there's two problems with that. It's not there 24 hours to protect ourselves
Mm,
from damage, and you'd have to take 80,000 milligrams of vitamin C to even temporarily bind up enough of those free radicals. Not very practical. So
wow.
turning our own body's ability on to make our own free radical, our battle against our own free radicals, making our own antioxidant enzymes such as SOD or catalase and glutathione, that's there constantly. And those are not used up. An enzyme assists in the production and binding of those free radicals together, but it's there 24/7, and it's a million times powerful. It binds up millions of free radicals every second
Yes.
of every hour of every day. It's the difference between throwing a cup of water on a house fire and taking a fire hose and putting the fire out. There's the difference.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
it
that's a
works
good analogy.
extremely well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and also when they take a vitamin C, for instance, it's synthetic. When synthetics aren't near absorbed as good when exogenous, and also that our stomach acids a lot of times kill things off. So figure this: um, 80,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That's 80,000 vitamin C tablets. So one antioxidant molecule that you ingest, if you absorb it, can neutralize and fight one bad free radical 1 to 1. But when we activate our own genetic pathways and we rev up production of our body's own antioxidants from within, that is so much more potent. Like Doc said, it's not only continuous 24/7 rather than once a day, but one antioxidant that our body makes, one molecule of SOD, can neutralize up to 1 million of those free radicals. So an antioxidant you take is a 1 to 1 battle. An antioxidant you make, like by activating your genes, is 1 to 8 million. And remind you, it's those antioxidants that fight oxidative stress. And oxidative stress has been known to cause inflammation. I think that's very important. And a lot of pain disorders, in my instant, from what I know, are linked to the oxidative stress, which we attack. A lot of them are related to the low mitochondria, mitochondrial malfunction in our cells. And I know when we rev up another gene, we're able to make more mitochondria, which are required for the cells to live. Right, Doc?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely
Yes.
right. So by doing all those things together, well, I've seen it over many years and thousands of people, we can reverse the damage. So we can lengthen both lifespan and health span. And that's hugely important.
Yes, yes, health span and lifespan. I don't want to live just longer. I want to live longer and healthier longer as well. And it's important to know that in 30 some odd years I've been in the medical field, I have never, ever to this day seen a prescription that can fully get rid of your nerve pain and keep it away. Ever, you know? So I am blessed. And just to reiterate a little bit of my story, one of my pains was trigeminal neuralgia. So if you guys heard of nerve pain that they think is related to diabetes, in my situation that was 100 times worse. I couldn't touch my hair, Doc. Like, look, I could touch my face again. My jaw is still dislocated after 3 surgeries. I was maxed out on meds. I It changed my life forever. I will never, ever, ever stop activating my genes. Think about it. All the pills I was popping, going to the doctors. I was feeling, wired or tired from them and having ulcers, and they were raising my weight, my blood pressure. Since I'm activating my genes, I'm on no prescriptions. I have no pain. I'm doing everything I was. My weight's ideal, my sugar's ideal, my blood pressure's ideal. I could touch my face. I'm up to Doc. I'm eating steak now. My jaw is still dislocated.
Good,
So that's
good, good.
awesome. Oh, we have another couple of slides that I wanted to show, because it's important, I think, not only mindset to reach out to a healthcare professional if they're not getting you healthy, but also to activate the genes to rev up production of your own antioxidants, rev up production of mitochondria, and detoxify the cells. But Doc, I know you're a lot more experienced at collagen, and I know collagen. The reason I had started taking it is I had heart problems, and I know your heart's your largest muscle, and
Yeah,
collagen makes up muscle. So I started it because collagen makes up our bones, our ligaments, our tendons, our joints, and we need those. And people don't realize when you get older and you start noticing wrinkles, yes, that's your collagen depleting after your 20s and 30s. But also, when your bones are thinner, that's because your collagen's breaking down. When your muscles are weaker, that's your collagen breaking down. So it's not just the wrinkles. I took it from my heart, but an added bonus was my wrinkles are getting better. So can you talk to us a little bit about collagen? And I think we have a couple
sure,
slides here.
sure.
And that helped me
And,
tremendously.
yeah, absolutely. And not just giving you back collagen, because most of that collagen, especially in powder form, is not very absorbable. And just
Mm,
replacing it isn't much. But we start to lose collagen in our late 20s to 30s, okay? And by the time we hit 50 to 60, we've lost about half of our collagen. Collagen makes up about 25 to 30% of all the protein in our body. So it's in every joint, it's in the muscle, the bone, it's
wow.
in every organ. It's the lining of your blood vessels. It's the lining of your gut. And so when we can activate our body's genes to make your own collagen, put you back to that youthful level, then again, we start to see repair. And I know, and for myself, I've had degenerative arthritis in my shoulders for years. They wanted to replace my shoulder 15 years ago, and I said no. I'm not impressed with that surgery, and so I've suffered with it. But I can tell you, since I've started activating my genes, I have no more pain. I'm pushing maximum weights. I'm building muscle again. Hard to do at a certain age, but yeah, it's very impressive results.
That is awesome. Yes, it gave us back the quality of life. Doc,
Yep.
before I started activating my genes, anything I lifted more than like 5 pounds would cause my dislocated jaw excruciating pain. So that
Yep.
was food shopping, vacuuming, just the activities of daily living, much less the weightlifting that I used to love to do. So now I'm finally, it's giving me the quality of life. And I think people need to realize that they're not realizing they're in chronic pain. But how many of you out there used to do more things and aren't doing them and are hesitant doing them? Oh, you want to go for a hike, a bike ride? And you're like, nah. Why? A lot of times it's the pain holding us back. And, I don't want people to do less because they're getting older in pain. I would rather get them out of the pain so they can do more, right? And I think
Absolutely.
we might have a couple of more slides possibly on the collagen. I think there was three. Okay, awesome. Can you enlighten us a little bit more on this one?
Sure. And again, these are different areas that well, the wrinkles, the hair, we think of hair, skin, and nails, okay, with collagen. But the stomach issues, I've had tremendous results with my Crohn's patients, my IBS patients, my colitis patients off their meds. I have one guy out of his adult diapers, which he had had for years. And unfortunately, he's a long
Wow.
distance trucker. Not a very good way to go. So,
Wow.
everything from recovery from exercise to everything else, joint pain, aches, um, cardiovascular health. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. I love what we have now.
Yes. And bones and muscles, right?
Yep. Yep.
When we start getting
Absolutely.
older, when we get weaker and we start losing more of our muscle mass, people need to realize a lot of the time that's the breakdown of collagen. And it's
Yep.
important point for like Doc. I'll emphasize what Doc said. The powders, honestly, they just don't work. Before the one I take, I had tried a powder before this one came out, and I was on it for several months. There was no difference in anything for me. So I think the molecule of the powder is too big. And then when you have to dry something out and then reconstitute it with water, it's just not as good as if you didn't mess with it. Right?
Yeah.
So can you speak about, there are a couple of collagen liquids out there because I know we
Yeah.
take a liquid and that's
Yes.
a lot more potent for us. But can you explain how the one we take is different from a couple other liquids out on the
Okay.
market?
So one, most of those out there, and the powders especially, too big a molecule to even absorb, so they don't work. I've tried several of them. The liquid's better. You absorb it better and more readily. Now, the one I use is a hydrolyzed collagen, so that means it's broken down into smaller amino acid chains, much easier to absorb. Also has 10 types of collagen. Most collagens have 1 to 5 types maximum. But the
Oh,
important part is not that. The important part, it also has gene activation. So when I activate my genes, I'm starting to produce my own collagen again, back like I was able to do when I was young and healthy, which I am again, by the way. But yeah, that's the difference. We can replace what you've lost, but we can also turn your body's ability on through genetics, through epigenetics, to making your own and tamping down the genes that break down your collagen. So we can maintain that high youthful level of collagen much, much better and much, much easier. So that's really why I love what we have and what we do, because it works.
yes.
We've seen it now for a little less than a year, but almost a year now. And I've seen some pretty impressive results. So it's
Yes.
exciting.
Yes, I think that's very important to know that although there's a couple other liquids out there, this is the only one that I know of that actually, to, summarize what Doc was saying, it not only replenishes the collagen that we're missing from our own collagen breaking down when we get older, but it's also activating our genes to rev up even more production of the healthy components that we need for collagen. But also, like Doc said, it's slowing down the breakdown of our existing collagen. None of the other liquids do that. So my existing collagen is actually breaking down even slower than it would have if I didn't only replenish it. So we're replenishing and we're slowing down the degradation or breakdown of our existing collagen, and we're activating our genes. And the liquid collagen, can you explain a little bit about I think there's a slide up there. Maybe you can enlighten us on that slide.
Yeah. So this shows not only are we giving you collagen 10 different types, which is unheard of at most collagen replacement, but as you see, you're turning on genes that will help you to increase your own production of collagen, but as you also see the SOD, catalase, all those things are antioxidant enzymes that also we can turn on and help to protect from free radical damage. So we're doing a lot with this, and of course seeing some tremendous results because of that.
That's awesome because I know superoxide dismutase, that's that 1 to 1 million ratio, not that 1 to 1 like
Yes.
that vitamin C that people are trying to take thinking it's helping them anti-aging. So that's
Yeah.
huge. And glutathione's our master regulator of our cells. I mean, that is involved in so much. People need to realize that collagen is throughout your entire body. So I might
Yeah.
take the collagen for my heart, but doc, with when I was on medications, I never got a good side effect of less wrinkles, right?
Yeah. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
Woo! Man, I would have started this a lot sooner. So yeah, I think it's important. Maybe I don't know if we have another slide, or is there anything else you want to say on this one?
No, I can tell you a real quick story. I had a lady call me. She'd
Yeah.
been using this for about 6 months, and she called me and says, and she's in her late 70s, and she called me and says, I went to my eye doctor. My vision has improved. And I said,
Wow.
that's because of the collagen. You got collagen in the retina and the lens and the vitreous. And of course, we start to repair all that again. So I thought that was pretty exciting.
Yes, that's awesome. My eye test did get better too. But the other thing was my heart doctor, my cardiologist, he my last cardiac MRI was so much better. And I had not only activated the genes, but I had to add the liquid collagen on board for the heart, not for the wrinkles. And I was like, Doc, the only thing I did different was this. And he's like, yeah, that could be it. Don't quote me, but that could be it. So, but now it's pretty cool because now my heart doctor and his family activate their genes and take the liquid
Excellent.
collagen. So if you look at who the healthcare providers are going to, and even the specialists, a lot of them are coming to us, right?
Yeah, really. How
um,
true that is, too.
yeah, yeah. So I think that it's important for people to know that there is hope for us. There's things we can do, Yes, eat better, but most of America, honestly, they're not going to eat much better than they are for the most part. If there's certain foods that are triggering your inflammation, stay away from them. Sometimes red meats. But for the most part, I think it's a lot easier to just activate my genes and eat what I want. I'm not saying eat everything bad, but if I had to choose to eat all organic and grow organic foods and cook from scratch 3 meals a day versus eat kind of clean, eat my cake and eat it, have my cake and eat it too, and activate my genes, I think I'd rather choose the latter. It's so much easier and it's still giving that
Yeah,
quality of the life. I mean, I
sure.
want to stay away from cake
Absolutely.
from forever.
Well, and I do tell people don't eat inflammatory foods, sugars, things with sugar in it, refined
Yes.
carbs, breads and pastas, things like that. That accelerates inflammation. Now, nobody's going to do it 100% of the time. I don't, but I do ask my patients to do it 80% of the time. And if they do that, they're much healthier and will live
Yes.
longer.
That's an important point. So basically, if we were to sum up the diet, I would say red meat's pretty much inflammatory for a lot of people, especially if they had some newer tick-borne illnesses, and also the processed foods, like Doc said.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily we want you to read certain ingredients, but if we made to simplify it for you, processed food. So basically, if it's man-made, it's not as good for you, for your weight, your sugars, or your inflammation. So it's, I guess,
yeah,
the refined carbs, the breads,
yeah,
pastas, things like
sure.
that. Oh, that's awesome.
I,
And
I,
the sugary drinks too, right? Like
yeah,
we switched to a
absolutely.
healthy
Yeah.
energy drink.
I,
Oh,
I
that's
tell
awesome.
people, I tell people if it comes out of a box or a can, don't eat it. If it comes out of the ground, it's a lot much healthier for them. So,
Doc, that's awesome because for years I've been saying before they even had this caveman diet thing, I was like, listen, if it comes out of the ground or has eyes, it's pretty much better for you. Because sometimes nutritionalists might make it so complex for the patients, right? The diet, how many
yeah,
milligrams of sodium and how many ounces of carbs and grams of carbs. Let's just simplify it, less man made, less processed. When you're shopping in the supermarket, stick around the outside. That's when the dairy and the meat
yeah,
is. And the process is
absolutely.
in the center. Um, and so I think it's important to sum it up. We went over mindset. If your healthcare provider is not getting you healthy, reach out to another healthcare provider like one of us or a healthier alternative. Stick with that provider if you want and reach out to us for the healthier alternatives. Activate your genes to rev up production of your own antioxidants, which are 1 to 1 million versus 1 to 1. When you take an antioxidant, it's a 1 to 1 ratio. When you make it, it's 1 to 1 million. Antioxidants is fighting the oxidative stress that is causing inflammation and linked to a lot of these problems that we're having, hundreds of disorders and diseases. Um, Activate your genes to rev up production of mitochondria, because a lot of our nervous system problems and even the rare disorders are linked to our mitochondria malfunctioning and decreasing in number. So we activate genes to rev up production of our mitochondria, and we rev up genes to detoxify the cells to get rid of the toxins before they become toxic. And then also, Doc and I like to do a liquid collagen, and the only one I know of that also, because liquid's more potent than powder, that the one we take is the only one I know of that not only replenishes but slows down the degradation, the breakdown of your existing collagen, and helps you build more of the good. And Doc, do you have any final words? Any last words of
No,
wisdom?
well,
No,
but
that's
we'll
it.
spend another time talking about other health aspects because there are a
Yes,
lot of things we like to
yes.
teach people. So
That's
good.
awesome. And I'd say for those of you, call to action from me is I just came out with an article in Authority magazine because they look at who is the authority on that topic. And they looked at me as the authority because not only I had severe pain, but I've been in the industry over 30 years and I'm trademarked as the world wellness expert. So my article in Authority magazine, you guys can read that. We'll drop the links here. There's also a 3-minute little movie about what can help you alleviate chronic pain as well, and that's on my YouTube. But I would say call to action for me is if you want more information, reach out to Doc. If you're friends with him, hit him up on Facebook. We'll drop his email. If you're friends with me, reach out to me. We have a couple of things. I have my Get Healthy and Happy with Me in 2023 because we have between us, we have probably at least 6, 7, 8 decades of knowledge between the two of us, and we can't
At
condense it
least.
all here in this half hour. Yeah. So my next step for those of you that want to move forward, if you know Doc, reach out to him in the email. We'll drop that. If you know me, reach out to me. I have a Get Healthy and Happy with Me in 2023. It's live online classes, and if they can't make it live, you're going to get replay access in the dashboard with the wellness workbook and other things. And I guess my call to action would be go to shaynamelissa.com, SHAYNAMELISSA.com. Everything's there. You can click the event tab, see past events, future events, register for Get Healthy and Happy with Me, follow me everywhere, contact my email that way. And I don't know if we dropped Doc's email, but if you guys are friends with Doc,